There is a company based right here in Texas, right outside of Austin, in Round Rock, that has been quietly, systematically, and deliberately shrinking its workforce for 3 years in a row. Many of you guys know what that company is. Yes, put it in the chat if you know who it is. If you know who it is. Good company. You probably got a few or two of their products. I bought a few or two of their products over your lifetime. Well, that company is Dell Technologies. Here are the numbers. Fiscal year 2023. Dell cut 13,000 jobs, 133,000 employees, down to 120,000. Fiscal year 2024, Dell cut 12,000 more, 120,000 down to 108,000. Fiscal year 2025, just disclosed in their annual SEC 10K filing on March 16th of this year. 11,000 more jobs eliminated. 108,000 down to 97,000. It's a lot of people. I want you guys to do the math with me. 3 years. Dell went from 133,000 employees to 97,000. 36,000 jobs gone. 27% of their entire workforce eliminated. And here's what makes this story different from every other layoff story. There is no press conference, no all hands meeting announcement, no CEO speech. They filed their annual report. The numbers told the story, and most people missed it. I want you guys to type signal in the chat if you see what I'm talking about. Type signal in the chat. And let me give you an analyst take on this one. Why is Dell doing this? This is not a company in distress. I need to be clear on that one. Dell's stock is up over 24% year to date. In February, they announced a 20% dividend, a 20% dividend hike, and authorized an additional $10 billion share buyback. They are getting to the money. They're giving you the money as a shareholder. Wall Street is not punishing Dell. Wall Street is throwing money at Dell. I want to share something with you guys. Play a little video.
A year with a record $43 billion. The AI story really is just the head. That's because Dell blew past estimates. Fourth quarter revenue came in at $33.4 billion. That's up 39% year over year, with earnings per share of $3.89, also a beat. The AI story really is just the headline here. Dell closed $34 billion in AI server orders just in the fourth quarter alone, and is entering the new fiscal year with a record $43 billion backlog. CEO Jeff Clark saying, quote, "The AI opportunity is transforming our company." The guide, also very strong. Full year revenue expected around $140 billion at the midpoint. Estimates were 125, so you can see the difference there. With AI server revenue alone guided to roughly $50 billion. Full year EPS, earnings per share, also beating estimates. That's the guide. And on top of that, Dell raising its dividend by 20% and adding $10 billion to its share buyback program. And that is why shares are up 7%.
So why are 36,000 people gone? Here's what the data shows. Dell reported a 342% year over year explosion in AI optimized server shipments in fiscal year 2026. 342%. Let that land. And they have a $43 billion backlog for AI servers, with revenue projected to double again in fiscal 2027. Dell sold commodity hardware, laptops, desktops, traditional servers. You needed a large generalist sales force for that. People who could sell a wide range of products to a wide range of customers. New Dell is selling AI infrastructure at $43 billion of backlog, and for that, you need specialists, not generalists. A former Dell employee put it this way: all I want you to hear this, okay? All I want you to hear is this right now, because this is the market signal. This is what he said, quote, "I think they need fewer, more specialized sellers than a larger number of generalists." That is the entire thesis of the 2026 job market in one sentence from someone on the inside. And here's how they executed the transition quietly in 3 steps. Step 1, they targeted layoffs, hitting sales teams hardest, including the complete dismantlement of their new account acquisition team in August of 2025. Step 2, hiring freezes, letting natural attrition reduce headcount without making any noise. Step 3, management layer flattening. Directors, VPs, middle management layers hit the hardest. I want you guys to type Dell in the chat if this is hitting close to home right now. Type Dell in the chat. Many of you guys probably seen it, probably worked for Dell. I know many people who worked for Dell over their professional careers. And here's the part that most people are not talking about. Dell has an active internal project, codenamed Maverick. Sounds like some Top Gun stuff, right? A multi-year operational transformation, standardizing operations across the entire company. Rollout is planned for mid-2026. This is not over. The restructuring that already happened, and guess what? There's more coming. Now, let me give you the data behind why this pattern is happening across every industry and not just Dell. A platform called Jellyfish just released a study. They analyzed data from over 700 companies, 200,000 engineers, and 20 million pull requests. Here's what they found. 63% of companies are now generating the majority of their code with AI assistance. And here's the number that explains Dell and Block and every other company restructuring right now. Here's the number. Companies with the highest AI adoption produce 2.2 completed projects per engineer per week. Companies with the lowest AI adoption produce 1.12 per engineer per week. Nearly double the output, same number of people. One AI fluent engineer is now producing what used to take 2 traditional engineers to produce. That is why Dell's headcount is shrinking and their revenue is growing. Those are not contradictions. That is the new math of 2026. That's the new math, guys. Before we move on, quick callback. A few days ago on the show, we covered Block cutting 4,000 people, 40% of their entire company. Today, Business Insider reports Block rehired 4 of them. One was a clerical error. One engineer threatened to leave unless they brought back his team. Guess what they did? They brought him back. 4 out of 4,000. The other 3,996 still gone. The company's moving the fastest, sometimes cut too deep, but the direction of the cut is not reversing. All right, let me take you to what happened this morning and why it matters for every ladder climber on this live stream. Stay with me on this next segment. So Dell showed you the corporate playbook. Now let me show you the economic environment that is making that playbook not just possible, but profitable as well. Check this out. This morning, the Federal Reserve announced their decision. Rates held again, 3.5 to 3.7%, unchanged, for the second consecutive meeting in 2026. I want you guys to type hold if you feel this in your job search right now. Type hold in the chat. I want to share a video with you guys real quick.
And I did just hear in my ear, there will be no change. So again, holding steady like we thought. How will this impact consumers?
I mean, the most important thing is if you're a borrower, you still have high interest rates. So the Fed directly impacts short-term interest rates. What does that mean? You carry a credit card balance, you're paying an average of 19, 20% on that balance. It stinks, I know. So that's going to stay the same. You have a car loan. You want to go get a new car. You want to get a used car. You're going to have still high rates, or a personal loan, business loans. The Fed does not directly control mortgage interest rates. We've talked about this for a long time. But last year, as you said, interest rates were coming down generally. So those mortgage rates also started to come down. We started 2025 with a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at around 7%. And now a year later, we're at about 6%. So it's better. It's not great.
So this is the first interest rate decision since the announcement of a criminal investigation into Fed Chair Jerome Powell. That aside, what can a new Fed chair do? We know either way his term is up in May.
Right. I mean, Fed chairs come and go. They are one vote on the committee. Now, the interesting thing about a Fed chair is they're trying to build consensus for a decision. And that's a good role for a Fed chair. So think of it more of like the reason why Jerome Powell was really good at it. He was a technocrat. He was good at like herding the cats, getting them on the same page. So he is just one vote. And there are other people on the committee who will also have one vote. So unless the entire Federal Reserve Board is dumped and packed with Trump appointees who want to lower interest rates, then we are probably going to see a continuation of the same type of policy, which is slow and steady, wait and see.
Slow and steady. Wait and see. Now, the market had a 99% probability of a hold priced in. This was expected. But here's the career critical part. Goldman Sachs, Barclays, Both have now pushed the first rate cut to September at the earliest. Some economists are now expecting any cut until 2027. They're basically saying, no cuts are going to happen this year. They're not expecting any cuts at all. And here's something else that you need to know. This is Jerome Powell's second to last meeting as the Fed chair. A new chair is expected to be confirmed in May. 3 weeks ago on this show, we covered the Straits of Hormuz, the disruption that's happening from the Iran conflict, oil prices spiking from $67 a barrel to over $90 a barrel. Today, we see exactly how that is locking the Fed's hand. They cannot cut rates with oil prices still elevated and inflation still above target. So what does a held rate environment mean for your career? Here's what the data shows. High rates mean the cost of borrowing is high. Companies cannot grow headcount affordably, so they optimize for efficiency instead. And AI is the most efficient investment they can make right now.